Here we have to take the decision on how to react after queen e5 check. And okay, we have 100 of possible moves here, but once again we know to what we should pay attention to, because first of all, when we look at the position, we can see that white is a pawn down, and white objectively doesn't have very good perspectives because of, well, the material disadvantage. And the only trump card white actually has is a pawn on c6, which is a very strong trump card when the queens are on the board because of mating ideas with queen h7, queen f7. But once the queens are exchanged, it's clear that this trump card becomes the most horrible weakness, because king g7, king g6 would simply collect it. So what is crystal clear? White shouldn't allow the queen exchange, because that is also logical from this point of view that black's king is quite unsafe, and the mating ideas with queen h7, queen f7 are of course in the air. Now, since we know already what we don't want and what we should try to avoid, we should also ask ourselves the question, what ideas black may have in order to force the queen's exchange. And clearly, if he play queen c3, then he would be very happy, and this would just help our opponent. But let's look for a more sophisticated plan, but helping him. Clear is that the queen and the king are on the same h file, and this gets us to the move queen h8. And queen h8 would be such a move which forces the queen exchange, and if we are not paying attention to that threat, and it's a serious threat, then of course, well, it will not end up well for white. So from all the moves we have, like g3, king h3, king h1, king g1, rook g3, it's clear that queen h8 might be a solution. So let's see. Here, king h3 also is not good, because queen takes c3 is hanging with a check. If we played c3, we should of course understand that c3 is never really hanging because of the mating ideas, but c3 would allow queen h8, and we would just get in the ending, which is not very good for white, because white will simply lose it. In the game, by the way, Dennis Wagner, one of the strongest German grandmasters, he played rook g3, which looks quite logical to join the rook into the attack, but he missed queen h8. And after queen h8, the situation is not very good, because he was forced to exchange the queens. He had to go back to c3, and after king g7, as already mentioned, the pawn was falling, and later he lost the game. Question, however, is what is the right move? It's not rook g3. We have to avoid to remain on the h file. So king g1 is the only solution. Now there is still the mating threat. So let's say queen f7. I mean, a move like queen h8 would be not very good, because we can take on e7. And now I think almost white is winning, or white is probably already winning, because the king is too weak. So that's why like queen g7 would be the most logical reply to avoid queen h7 and queen f7 mate. And here after rook takes c4, we would likely just see a draw quite quickly. I mean, if black doesn't take on c4, then actually he should be more worried about his king than white to be worried about his own king. That's why rook takes c4 is the easiest solution for black not to get in any trouble. Queen takes c4, king h8, and well, either there will be a perpetual check or there won't be enough pawns on the board, but in any case, objectively, this game is deadly draw. Yeah, I mean, probably my assumption is that Dennis Wagner missed the move queen h8, but once again, I mean, like all these kind of rules and like in general to characterize the position is very useful, because once you see what is the issue and what exchanges are helpful and less helpful, and here it's clear that if you change the queens, the position is over, then the decision-making process is not very difficult at all.